Make it yours.
I was like, I'm scared. When do you want me to go? Oh, just now. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Maripool, and this is Juice.
Hi, Maripool.
Hi.
Thank you for being here. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, very well. Cheers.
Yes. Well, that's so nice.
You requested something kind of tropical, either
Yeah.
passion fruit, pineapple, or mango. I got mango because I thought it would be nice. Okay, so Maripool, aka Natacha, that's your real name. I want to know everything, and I want to take it from the start. So you're from Lisbon, Portugal, originally, and you moved to the UK when you were 18.
Yeah.
Cool. Very scary and like risky decision. Must have been kind of intense when you were so young.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. I think I didn't really think about it. I think when I was young, I just didn't think about these things, which is pretty wild of me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would do that now. Maybe I would, I don't know. But like, it was pretty crazy because I just like always had this idea that I was going to move here, even though I'd never been here before. And then when I finished school, I like applied for university here for Camberwell, and I got in, and I told my mom, I was like, I'm just going to move. But I like, cause she was like, how are you going to afford to live there? And I was like, oh, it's fine. Like they give grants to people to live, like it'll be so fine. But like, I obviously knew it wouldn't be, but I knew that if I didn't tell that to her, she would never let me move. So then she let me move, and I never went to uni. So basically it was like a white lie. So she would let me move.
Oh.
Cause like, I always knew I wanted to do music. But like applying for university was the only way that she would let me move. Yeah. So then but I feel quite bad like talking about it now. I mean, she's fine with it now, but like for a whole year she would like call me and she'd be like, how was school? And I was like, yeah, it was great. But I was like, instead I like just got a full-time job and like bought a guitar and like started learning, because I'd never played guitar before. But like, which is kind of crazy. I was just like 18. I was like, yeah, I'm going to move to this country I've never been to before in my entire life, and I'm going to be a musician even though I don't play anything. But I guess it's paid off. So yeah, but yeah, it was pretty wild. Sure. But now my mum's fine with it. Like now we can talk about it after like years. She's like, it's fine because you're doing what you love. But but yeah, we can't talk about university near her. She gets really sad about it still.
Really?
I mean, yeah, it's funny.
Wait, so for what university did you apply?
For Camberwell.
Camberwell.
Yeah, for photography.
Oh, so not even music?
No.
Just something.
No, because I'd never done music before. So I was like, if I tried to do music, I have no portfolio. But I did study photography in school. So I was like, I can do that. I can do a photography portfolio. Okay. Even though I didn't want to do it.
And it was okay for your mom to study photography, but not music?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like, I think if I told, like, even with photography, I think she was a bit like, what are you doing? But I think if I said music, she'd be like, you've never done music in your life. What are you doing? Yeah.
That's a good lie there.
Yeah, that is really a good lie,
nice.
yeah.
And it was basically your ticket to come here.
Yeah.
It's nice. I kind of did the same thing because I always knew I wanted to move to the UK, but I didn't know how or for what reason. I just wanted to be here to do something creative. So I just told my parents, okay, I want to study in the UK. I don't know what. I'm going to do something very broad. So I studied anthropology.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
It's cool, but it's like so broad. It's just about humans. But I later realized that was the way to just come here.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, it worked out very well.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to do that.
It's good to do that.
It's a good excuse.
Yeah. So you had a full-time job, and with your first paycheck, you bought a guitar and you just started playing.
I just started learning, yeah. Okay. I would like spend all my evenings learning. And I was really bad. Really bad.
That's how it is at first. But I think guitar is like the best instrument to start with.
Yeah,
it's pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it took me so long. I was so bad for so many years. I was just like, what am I doing? Yeah. And it was a bit sad because like I did have some friends that like also moved from Portugal to here, and they actually went to university. So I was the only one out of all my friends who didn't go to university, which is pretty wild when you're like 18. Like all of my friends were like going out, going crazy. And I was like working a full-time job in a supermarket and like spending my nights trying to learn scales. Yeah.
What supermarket?
Whole Foods.
Oh,
the
that's
one in
a nice
Newington.
One. That's a nice one.
Yeah, it's a nice one.
Better than Aldi or Sainsbury's.
It was a nice one. I mean, it's still pretty bad, but it was a nice one. Yeah. It's the nicest one.
It is the nicest one. Yeah. That's pretty cool. So what made you move to the UK to pursue music? Why didn't you decide to stay in Lisbon?
I don't know. I think like when I was a teenager in Lisbon, like me and my friends used to always travel around Portugal to go to music festivals. But you don't get that much bands going to Portugal except in the summer to play festivals. So it was quite rare that I would see bands that I like. And like there was at the time no music scene in Portugal. There's not that many people making music. So I think my natural thing to go was like, I need to go somewhere else and do it. I need to go where all these artists are coming from and do it there.
Yeah.
So I didn't, in my head, I wasn't like, oh, maybe I could start a new thing in Lisbon, which I could have also done that. Because a lot of my friends have done that now in Lisbon, where like they created a scene, which is quite nice. But I think in my head, I was just like, I want to be like those people on stage that I see right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Who were like your main influences when you were at that age?
When I was a teenager, I think the band that like really made me want to be a musician was Deer Hunter. I saw them when I was 16 and like that changed my life. That was like the best show I've ever been to. So good. I was really obsessed with them, and I don't know, I think I listen to a lot of things that I don't even listen to now. Like I was obsessed with MGMT when I was a teenager, which I find really hilarious.
Like everyone.
Yeah, like everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the only two that I can remember that I was like really obsessed with. But I think my music taste has changed so much like throughout the years. Like when I was even younger, like 14, like 13, 14, I was really into punk and hardcore. And I used to like go to all punk shows in Lisbon, and then suddenly I was like, no, I love MGMT now. Yeah.
Very broad. Nice, I like it. You go through phases then.
Yeah.
But I can hear that in your music. It definitely has rock influences from the 90s, but it has like a DIY pop element to it as well.
Yeah.
So that is from all of your different influences, I guess. Cool. What was the first song you wrote?
Good question. Like for Maripool, or like in general in my life?
In general. In
general.
life, yeah.
So like when I was 21, I joined the band. So this is the first band I've ever been in, and it was like an emo band called Spring Skipper, and that's the first time I ever wrote a song.
An emo band.
Yeah, an emo band. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like 90s emo.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, but then that band, like we never even played live. We did an EP that's on Bandcamp. That was it.
Oh.
The end. And then when that band finished, and then I started Maripool, and then actually one of the first songs I've ever wrote for Maripool was Softly, which came on my last EP. But it's funny because that song only came out like in 2022, but I wrote it in like 2018. But I wrote like the guitar parts and the bass parts, and I had the drums for it, but I just like couldn't put vocals into it for some reason. And then I just had to get an EP together. And then in 2022, I was like, I've got the lyrics now. I can do it. And then I released a song.
That's amazing.
Sometimes you just like sit on songs for ages. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's for a reason. It might not be ready yet, and it takes a while to put everything into formation.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't release it. But it's funny when I think of it, it's like literally one of the first ones that I wrote. Everyone finds that really surprising, but I think it's because it's kind of like an odd song, and like the guitar parts especially like more complicated than the things I do now. But I think it's because I was trying to prove to myself like I can do this.
I can play guitar. Yeah. Pretty impressive. All right. And what made you start the solo project, Maripool? Why didn't you want to start another band?
I think it's because like, so when I had my emo band, I loved it so much. I think it was the first time, because like even the whole time I was learning guitar, I never really thought that I could actually do it, even though I like came here and to do all that. I never was like, yeah, I can do this. And then when I had the emo band, it was the first time that I was like, oh, I can actually do this. And it was like the best feeling ever. And I was in a band with like some of my best friends. But then when the band split up, it was quite sudden. And then I felt so sad that it was literally like going through like a heartbreak. I was like, I can't do this again. And then at the time I just discovered Alex G. And he became like massive inspiration. And because he did everything by himself, so like he always does the drums, bass and all that in his songs, I was like, maybe I could do the same. Which is pretty wild because again, I didn't know how to play any other instruments. I only knew how to play guitar at this point and not very well. But then I got myself into drum lessons, and then I was like, I could probably just learn how to play bass as well if I learn how to play guitar.
Yeah.
And then I just learned them. And then like, that's how I started writing songs. So I've been doing Maripool for ages, based because like I've just been writing songs as I'm learning the instruments. And only now is that I've gotten to a point where I'm like, yeah, I couldn't play the instruments fairly well to like fully write songs. But yeah, it all just came from Alex G, because I was obsessed. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Okay, so that's how you learn to play all of these instruments, and it started as a. I mean, I think your Maripool is usually described as a one-girl band.
Yeah.
That's how people describe you. So you play all of these in your room. Like, is that where you record most of your stuff?
Yeah. So like all the demos I record myself in my room. I mean, in like my rooms are like, now I've got my drum kit in like my basement. So I just like record in my basement as well. But then I go into a studio and record everything in a studio. But it's all just me in the studio as well.
Just you.
Yeah, which is really tiring. It's really tiring. It's like we'll start the day by like doing all the drums for every song, and then we'll do all the bass for every song, and then the guitars for every song. Yeah, it's really intense.
Do you
really
still
intense.
prefer it over having other people doing it for you?
Yeah, because I've had times that I've had some people, like for this EP that's coming out, in one song I was like, oh, maybe the band could come in and like do the bits for me, and then I think it's just because I'm very, very specific in how I want things, and then it got to the point where I was like, I just had to like redo the takes and do them myself. But then the guy who I recorded with, and even him was like, oh, I think it's best if you just do it yourself, because like it's just the way I want things is so specific, and like as we were doing with other people, I was like, oh, it's just like small little things, like like the guy who was doing the guitar was like picking the string too hard, and I was like, oh, that doesn't work, you gotta do it softly. It's just like little things like that, and I was just like, oh, I should just be doing it myself.
And you don't really know how to explain it to them. You just want it your way.
And then I feel a bit crazy because I'm like, maybe it doesn't matter that much, but at the same time, like, I think if it was a band, it'd be pretty chill, but I was like, because I've written everything, it doesn't make sense to have other people go in and play it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's what I've learned with this EP, because like we didn't use the takes. I mean, we did use some, so like the bass takes that Michael, my bass player, did like stayed, but yeah, most of the takes I just redid them. Yeah.
So you play all the instruments, you record everything yourself, and you also design the posters, and you direct your own music videos. You're doing everything.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it works out quite cheap for you.
Yeah, it does. I feel like sometimes, I don't know, like I drive myself crazy. I need to like let go a little bit. But I do really enjoy doing all those stuffs. Like I love doing posters. I feel like that's my new favorite thing, is doing posters. And the covers, I always do the covers for the singles as well. And yeah, with the music videos, I've always done them. But like the last one that I've released, I didn't do the last one. I was like, I need to stop controlling everything. Yeah. And that was like the first time that I gave someone, like, I was like, you do it. And I had some like friends come and do the music video, which was a nice experience. It was definitely very strange for me to like not be in charge.
Did it feel kind of more relaxing?
Yeah, it was relaxing.
Step back and let someone else take the lead.
I don't know if it's relaxing. I feel like I just get stressed when I'm not in control. Yeah. Which is pretty bad. All my bandmates are always like, Natacha, let go. And I'm like, I can't. I want to do everything. But then, yeah, I just get really drained because I have to do so much. But it is fun. I think it is worth it.
Are you going to try it in the future again, or do you want to direct the next music video?
Yeah, like I have a song coming out in May, but I didn't like properly make a video. So I don't know if it's actually going to come out with a video. I was just like, because I've got like a VHS and I film loads of things with it. So I was like, maybe I can just do like a mix match of like all the footage I have, and that will be the video. Because I was just like, I just can't be bothered. I'm too tired. I've done so much already. So I was like, maybe it's my time to have like a mix match of like random footage. Because I have loads of like nice footage of like my friends and like of live videos from when we played. So I was like, maybe I can do that. But I do love coming up with ideas for music videos. I do have an idea for a music video, but I don't know. It's like, I wouldn't be able to do it myself. I would have to like direct someone on how to do it.
What's the idea?
I want to make it like a video game.
A video game?
Yeah, because like during this EP, me and my drummer, like, because we lived together, and we were really obsessed in playing Tekken. Like it became our obsession during summer. And then we were like, what if we made a music video and the characters were the band and we're fighting? And I was like, that's sick. So that was my idea, but I need to find someone to do that. And I also, I don't know, money. But, well, I feel like that would be sick. Maybe I'll do that. That would be
sick if you do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you can just make it yourself, take a camera and try the best you can.
Oh my God, yeah. Maybe we'll just like fight each other.
You can just fight each other on the street.
Actually, that would be quite sick. Maybe we should just fight each other. Oh my God, maybe I'll do that actually.
Great.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it. Okay, I want you to tell me about, because you already told me about the recent music video you released for Not Today.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind that? And like, what made you direct it the way you did with the other director that you worked with, and what is that red creature? Because I don't know how to name it.
Yeah, I know. We just call it the monster.
The monster, yeah. What is that?
I know. We kept calling it the monster. It's quite funny. To be fair, I literally wasn't that much involved. I completely let go. I was just like, you do. I sent Julie the song. So Julie, she's the director, and she went to university with my drummer, and because he studied screenwriting, so he knew loads of people, and he was like, you'll really like her. And then he got her involved, and I just sent her the song, and I sent her the cover. And then I was like, see what you can make of this, because I have no ideas. And then that's the idea she came up from, the lyrics, and because the cover is all red, she was like, maybe we could create this red monster that just follows you around, and you can't get rid of it, but in the end you kind of come to terms with it. Yeah. So that was her idea, and I was just like, yeah, let's do it. We can have a red monster. I was like, sounds cool.
Did you design the costume?
No. We had so it's because they're all friends. I kind of just met everyone for for the music video. But she's called Sara, and she doesn't even live here. She lives in Madrid, and she did the costume there, and then she flew over to give the costume. Yeah, it's crazy. Wow. So many people were involved in this music video, which is really cool. Yeah, something that I would never do if I was doing the music video. I just grab my VHS and film things. So it's quite nice to have that experience, because most of it is filmed in my bedroom. So I had 12 people in my bedroom as we were shooting this music video. Wow. Which is pretty crazy. I didn't expect that.
And who is that woman dressed as the monster?
Oh my God,
she was really good at it.
Yeah, so at the beginning, it was supposed to be my sister. So the costume was made for my sister, considering her height and her measurements. But then in the end, she couldn't make the rehearsals. So then the choreographer, which is Michelle, was like, I can just be the monster. And because she was the monster for I think a practice, and then we were like, maybe she should just be the monster. Because when we started doing the dance, I was like, I'm having a hard time doing this. So if we have two people that are having a hard time, this might be even more difficult. Yeah. So yeah, Michelle just ended up being the monster as well as the choreographer.
You even had a choreographer.
We had I know, it's crazy, choreographer. Yeah. When they told me that, I was like, why? And they were like, for the dance, and I was like, what is this dance? Yeah, I was like, whoa. I thought I was gonna be Dua Lipa or something.
Yeah, it was still very beautiful though. I think everything the visuals really matched with the song.
Okay, and good.
Tell me about the song. What is it about? Because it gives a very vulnerable, emotional feel to it.
Yeah, it does sound pretty sad, the song.
Yeah. So what is it about?
I don't know. It's kind of it's just about every day feeling the same. I think I wrote it at a time that I was feeling quite down, and more in the sense of the music industry and everything that revolves around it. In the sense of sometimes because I don't know, what I like to do is do music, but there's so much more than doing just music, and there's so much more than just having nice songs. You have to promote and do so many things, and play these little industry games, and it's so boring, and it's just it's really frustrating at times that you're why can't the music just speak for itself? You have to do so many other things, and go and speak to people, and make friends with important people. It's just so boring. It's
exhausting.
Yeah, and I hate it. And I think when I wrote that song, I was just feeling really exhausted with it, and it was just about how no matter what I do, everything just kind of stays the same. And yeah, but I don't think that, to be fair, that's how I was feeling, but I don't think that transcribes too much into the song, because the song just feels a bit more every day is the same. And I'm sad. Yeah. But I guess that was still how I felt. But I guess what made me feel that way is because of music and everything around music industry and how it works.
But you're still going. You're still doing it.
I'm still going. But I think the way I do things has changed a little bit. But I think that's what happens when you grow as an artist in any anything you do. Yeah. In the sense of I don't know, I think now I care less. I think when I was a bit younger, because I wrote that song in 2022, so I think a few years ago I used to care more if people would listen to it, if people liked it, and if I would get good gigs, or like if I was being booked for festivals, like that would play such a big role on like how I would feel about my music and how I would feel about myself. And if for some reason, if I wasn't getting those things, I'd be like, oh, it's because I'm not good enough. And now it's gotten to a point where I'm like, no, the industry is just kind of fucked. And like, I think I'm fine. And like, I just want to do music that I like, and that is enough. But it takes a while to get to that mindset of like not letting all these things get to you, and like not let these things determine like who you are as an artist, which it's really difficult. But I think that's where the song come from. Yeah,
very interesting. I thought it was about lockdown, or like,
oh, really?
Yeah, just feeling down and being depressed sometimes. But it has a more deeper meaning to it.
I feel like most songs always have like a deeper meaning to it, but I think like whenever I write songs, I always find that like they just take their own life. Do you know what I mean? Like, and they just become something else. And like sometimes I start writing thinking about a certain thing, but then that doesn't transcribe at all in the song for some reason, and it just kind of becomes something else. It's really bizarre, but yeah, it always happens in songs. So yeah.
I think the magic with writing music is that it can be translated to something entirely different based on who listens to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So that's very beautiful. So what do you find the most emotionally draining about the industry at the moment? Because as an independent artist, and you do everything yourself anyway, what's the thing that you like the least about this whole thing?
Oh, I think definitely like the selling myself. Like, not like, I mean, it's more in the sense of like promoting myself. I hate doing that. I think I'm just very bad at like being active on social media. I like if I'm not releasing music, or if I don't have anything coming up, I just won't use my social media, which is really bad as an artist. You can't do that. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know how, like, I don't really want to go against who I am as a person as well. But it's just like things like that. You always have to be so active and like do all these things, and it's just I'm just not very good at promoting myself. And like,
and that's understandable. It's so draining.
Yeah, it's really draining
on social media all the time, literally trying to sell yourself to the people.
Yeah, I'm just really bad at it. I'm always just like, well, if you want to listen, you can listen.
I think it has reached to a point where it doesn't leave you time to actually focus on the music. You focus so much on selling yourself, being trendy, relevant, and all that stuff.
And then there's like so many like emails to send to people, and like emails like ask like, because like once I release a song, there's so much stuff that I need to do, like send emails to like radios so they will see if they want to play the song, send emails to festivals being like, hey, I just released a song, do you want me to play? It's just like so much work that goes behind it. I can't just like put a song out and be like, okay, that's done, which is kind of annoying.
But and as an independent artist, it's really difficult to keep going when you have to do all that.
It's hard.
But you're doing it, and I love that. Also, I saw that you recently got signed to an indie label in California, Smoking Room.
Yeah, love them so much.
How do you feel about that?
It was like a full circle moment in my life. Yeah, because so back in 2020, like during lockdown, I found out about Smoking Room. I can't remember how. I think, it's because I heard of this album from this band called Toner. And I saw that they were on a Smoking Room, and then I ended up on their Bandcamp, and I was like, whoa, everything here is so cool. Like, they had so many cool bands. Like, everything in there was insane. So I spent the whole of my lockdown in 2020 listening to all those bands, because I was obsessed with this label. And they released the first like Island of Love EP. They're like a UK label. They were like the only UK band. They were like the only UK band at the time that was in that label. And then because of that, I became friends with them, because I was like, oh my God, you're on this label. They're so cool. And then like, I don't know, I kind of didn't really think about it that much. Like I never even thought, it never occurred to me to send them my stuff. And then one day, like I'd been sending the EP to like loads of UK labels, never got a response for like months. And I was just like, I got to the point where I was like, maybe I'll self-release it. I don't know what to do. And then literally I was like hitting like rock bottom. I was like, don't know what to do. And then one day I get a message from them on Instagram. They didn't even follow me.
On Instagram?
Yeah, wow. They messaged me on Instagram, and they're like, we're really big fans. Are you releasing any music soon? And I was like, wow. I was like, what do you mean you know who I am? It was literally a full circle moment. Like I emailed them and I was like, you won't believe it. Like I'm the biggest fan. I was like, I love your label so much. So yeah, it was so good. And so the guy who runs it is the guy who's in Toner, which is the band that led me to even know of this label.
Wow.
And so it's just like a one-man operation, and he's like amazing. So yeah, I've had a really good experience. I really like them. So yeah, really happy with the label. And every band in there is sick. Like
incredible.
Such good bands. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And you've got your new EP coming out on the 7th of June.
Yeah.
I got that right. A day that feels like nothing at all.
Yeah.
What inspired you to name it like that? What shall we expect from the EP? And what is it about?
Okay, so I wanted to give it a really long title. I think that was always like my idea. But it's because like most of my influences, which I don't know if it transcribes that much in the music, but like I've always been really heavily influenced by like 90s emo. That's like my favorite kind of music. And in 90s music, you always like in emo music in general, you just have always really long titles for like bands and songs and albums. Yeah, it's like all the Midwest emo. It's always like really long titles.
Give me an example, because I don't listen to a lot of 90s
So for example,
emo.
like Happen Jazz, I think they're quite a famous one. American Football, they're a really famous emo band. Yeah. And but yeah, there's just so many good ones. And like my favorite one's called Link, but they're not very famous. Okay. So probably not a good example.
I don't know.
But there's so many good emo bands. I did a show on NTS with emo music, so you can listen to that.
I'll listen to that.
Yeah, if you want to check some emo music, because I'm like so obsessed. It's like my passion.
Wow.
Not more than music, doing my music, but like I'm obsessed with emo music. I know so much about it. It's a bit embarrassing. But anyways, like I wanted to have a bit of that in my music, because I think I always wanted to be a bit more emo, even though the songs don't really sound like that. But so I was like, oh, big title. And then I wanted to sound a bit sad, because I feel like, but all like, it had to be a bit emo. So that's why I gave it the big title and being like a day that feels like nothing at all. But I think it goes a bit back to like the thing of like not today, which is like every day just feels a bit the same. And I think the EP is a bit that, like all the songs are a bit that as well. I don't know, every song is a bit different on the EP, but I think it's because I wrote them at like such different times of my life. Like Not Today is probably the oldest song in the EP, I think. And then there's one that is literally like 6 months old.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah, it's still
okay.
there.
So taken from different parts of your life and you just put them all together.
Yeah.
That's really cool. How would you describe it in 3 words?
The EP? Oh, I'm so bad at describing things. That's actually like the worst question for me.
It's emo for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to say it's emo, but I always get scared that people will be like, nah.
That's not.
It does have like really, it does have some influences, like, because I think in emo you always have like a lot of screaming, which I love in songs. And people always find that crazy, but like in 2 songs it's screaming.
Oh.
Yeah, which I think is like a step up from like what I've done before. Yeah. But like these songs are like completely different things I've done before. I had like, so even for Not Today, because we have violins on the song.
Did you play the violins?
No, so my drummer, oh my God, imagine. I was like, I can do it all. No, my drummer Andre plays the violin, so he played the violin. And then a lot of the songs on the EP have saxophone on them as well. Ooh. Yeah, which I'm so excited about. So Josh, who plays in Leatherhead and Piglet, plays saxophone. And yeah, it's just, it sounds really beautiful. I think it's so different from like anything I've done before. And yeah, and like, there's 2 songs they're screaming, and those 2 are my favorites just because of that.
Wait, how many songs are there in the EP?
6.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice treat. Okay, because you hadn't released anything since 2022.
Yeah, because it's hard. I was like, it's hard. I'm literally just coming to tell you it's hard. Yeah, it's just because like, I think, because I recorded this EP like a year ago, and then I've been trying to get it out since then.
Oh, you've been trying to get it out?
Yeah.
Oh.
And like, it was really hard until I got Smoking Room. And then when I got Smoking Room, because I'd been sitting on the EP for so long, and at the time it was just 5 songs. And then, but I just felt, because I got like rejected or like no answer from like so many people, that I was like, this EP sucks. And then when I finally got Smoking Room on board, I was like, oh, maybe I could just add another song so the EP feels new again to me. Because I think it's hard when you've been sitting on something for so long to like still be hyped about it and still be like, yeah, this is great. So then I went back into the studio and recorded another song, and that's on the EP as well, and that's why it's 6. Yeah,
cool. I was gonna say that Not Today sounds vulnerable for sure, and more mature, like a very different sound to all of your previous songs. And I assume that the other songs in the new EP are gonna be different as well. Because you said there's screaming, there's saxophones, more violins.
No, that was the only one.
Okay.
That was the only one with violins. But yeah, there's like piano as well in one, which is something I've never had before.
Did you play the piano?
No, so I can't play the piano because I took the song to the studio and I told you and who I recorded with, I was like, I just feel like it was the one I liked the least. It's still the one I liked the least, to be fair. But at the time I was like, oh, I'm really not sure about this song. And then I asked him like, how can we change? And he was like, maybe if you like, instead of doing the lead guitar on the guitar, we could do it on a piano, like the same notes, but on a piano. So then like, he just went on the piano and I was just like playing the guitar bits to him and he was just like finding the notes and then like I recorded him. Which was quite funny. It was like an inverse. I was like, okay, you go in there and I record you now.
Cool. And what's your most favorite song from the EP?
It's the one that's coming out on the 8th of May. So it's called Isn't It Funny? It's the best song I've ever written.
Wow.
So good. So good.
Why?
I think it's definitely like the most vulnerable song I have on the EP. And then it's because, I don't know, it's just that feeling like everything went right with that song. It's like so beautiful. Like it sounds so beautiful. And the saxophone in it, and like the whole song is really, like it just sounds really beautiful. And then at the end, I start screaming. And then at the end, they're screaming. Yeah. But it just like works really well. Cause like it's a sad song without sounding sad, but then in the end it's like quite obvious that it's a sad song because I start screaming.
I love that.
But yeah, when I say it like that, I feel like I'm not selling it well, but like you'll just have to listen to it.
I like it. It sounds interesting. You're screaming. I didn't ask you what's your name? What is it? Maripool.
Oh, Maripool.
How do you come up with it?
So it comes from a Simpsons episode.
Does it?
Yeah. So because I was really struggling trying to find a name, and I was like, if I use my own name, I thought people would just struggle with my last name. Like I don't know, it's just, maybe it'd be fine, but I quite like it when people just have one name as well.
Yeah.
So I was really obsessed with The Simpsons at the time. And then I watched that episode where like Bart breaks his leg and then Milhouse goes to his house to like use the pool. And then he signs his cast as Millpool as he's running to the pool. And I was like, oh, I could use that. But there was loads of bands called Millpool. So I just adapted it to my second name, which is Maria.
Oh, Maripool.
So yeah, that's where it comes from. And then I was like perfect. That'll be unique.
It is. Like it sounds really cool and interesting.
And it sounds like a name. A lot of people think that's my real name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your last name is Simoes?
Simoes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I understand why people would find it difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of sucks when you make music at a different country and you can't really use your last name because people wouldn't get it. But
yeah. I feel like I could have probably did that, but I don't know. When I was younger, I just assumed I was like, no one's gonna be able to do this. I feel like maybe if it was now, I'd be like, oh, who cares? But yeah, when I was younger, I was like, I need a different name. Yeah.
Do you think it also works as an alter ego, like a persona you needed to differentiate yourself from it?
I don't know. Maybe when I was younger, maybe. I don't know. I never really thought about it that way, but I just feel like Maripool is me. Like it's just me. Yeah.
I like that. Because some people create their stage names to feel that kind of safety and comfort when it comes to expressing their feelings.
Yeah.
So they don't really associate to them.
Yeah.
But Maripool is just you.
Yeah, Maripool's just me.
I like that. Cool. One last question.
Yeah.
What is something that brings you peace? I asked that to all of my guests.
Something that brings me peace. That's such a hard one.
I know.
Whoa.
It can be a place, a person, an object, anything.
God. Oh, actually, I'd say recording.
Recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is crazy because I said how tired it makes me.
Yeah.
But I think recording is like the nicest. Like whenever I'm recording, I always say this, like time doesn't feel real. Like whenever, I think it's because I'm always in the studio, just like close in the studio with Ewan, and we just work for hours. So like we'll start like early in the morning and then like finish like sometimes like almost midnight.
Wow.
And it's just like it doesn't feel real time. And like I find that when I'm recording, it's like nothing matters. And like I could be having the worst time in my life, but it's like it's okay because I'm doing this, and it feels really nice to like be able to go into a place and just do that for hours and like see songs come to life. I think that's my favorite bit in life, I'd say.
Beautiful.
I love doing that.
Beautiful. I love that. Okay. New EP.
Yeah.
A Day That Feels Like Nothing at All.
Yeah.
Is out on the 7th of June. New single coming out in May 5th.
May 8th.
May 8th. Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think that's everything I wanted to ask you. Everything sounds super exciting. I can't wait to hear the new song.
Yeah.
And the new EP. Do you have anything you want to say to the audience before we end this video?
I've got a show on the same day that the EP comes out.
Oh.
At the Ivy House in Nunhead. So I guess people can come to that.
I'll be there.
Yes.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Fire in the air.
In the air.
Okay.
Okay.
Like,
cheers.
That's what my dad said. Wanna get you back there again. Only even once said.
is that good enough?